Tom Bernard here. Thanks for listening to our KQ Morning Show podcast, sponsored by our friends at Walzer Automotive Group. Walzer is proud to be the Twin Cities' one low-price dealer group. That means upfront, no haggle pricing on every single new and used vehicle they sell. With 24 dealerships over 2 states and a love-it-or-leave-it return policy, you can buy with confidence. I encourage you to experience the Walzer way to buy your next vehicle. See walzer.com for details. Thanks for listening and enjoy our show.
The KQ Morning Show is back. Let's go! 92 KQRS.
We are back, ladies and gentlemen. A little news, a little information. It is 5:40, 20 minutes till 6 o'clock. Traffic information, and here is Candace KQ.
KQ Traffic is sponsored by... Oh, dang it.
Or do it like this.
Hey, man, it's time for the traffic.
Hey, man. All right. There's a stall Highway 169 northbound just after Highway 101. There's a disabled vehicle on that exit ramp. And weekend closure 694, 494 southbound between 10th Street and Highway 61 is scheduled to be closed beginning at 10 p.m. tonight until 5 a.m. on Monday.
No, Candace, you're too young to know this, but and Tony, you and Brian probably are as well, but why did they used to play Echo behind all top 40 disc jockeys back in the day? What was that supposed to achieve? Like setting you aside from everybody else? Is that they sound different?
Make you sound big, man.
Oh, it's to sound bigger?
Well,
Candace, thanks a lot for that traffic.
well, it's always on when I get here, so they must be using it during the day.
Who uses it?
Oh, I know one or two that really like to beef up their balls a little bit.
Beef up their
man.
balls.
Candace, how's everything in the real world?
It's real.
It's real, man.
It is time for the weather. I don't have any echo to put on my voice, so I can't. I got to talk into a Pellegrino bottle in order to get an echo. It's not that great. Anyway, 89, mostly cloudy today. What's going to be off and on cloudy, I guess, kind of like yesterday. 89 and mostly cloudy, 67 and cloudy tonight, 79 mainly cloudy. What's the difference between mostly and mainly? I like that. Gives us kind of a, what was that called again? Joie de vie? No, that's not it.
The joy of life.
Yeah. A certain joy of life by saying either mostly cloudy or, wait a minute, 89 mostly cloudy today.
79 and mainly cloudy today.
We got radio going this morning here at the Q, baby. So, yeah, 89 most cloudy today, 67 cloudy tonight, 79 mainly cloudy tomorrow. It is right now 64 degrees and clear, but we'll see. I think it'll come and go. Kind of did yesterday. No doubt about it. We have an update from a Miami TV station on the condo collapse and subsequent search and rescue that continues this morning. Also, Minnesota lawmakers strike deals on most parts of the budget. Is that ever good news for the taxpayer? Ever?
No.
He goes, You're right. He used to do that in Tony's old neighborhood there. He never lived there, but, the people, they used to go, so, Mr. Schulman, what do you think I should do?
I might pick that up. I was listening to a Billy Crystal interview yesterday. We might have a little bit of that later on. He talks about Palance and that whole thing and how it happened.
What? I love it. Billy Crystal, to me, I think. Anybody who can do an entire national TV commercial by going, what? What? That's a lot of talent, baby. So I got to tell you, I'm on the way in this morning. Had a nice night's sleep. Got up this morning on my way in and, I'm listening to the news here and there and, popping around. And, this sucks and that sucks, everything sucks. And while they're talking about how much everybody sucks and Republicans suck and Democrats suck and everybody sucks and your skin color's wrong and no, your skin color's worse than mine. And I look out to the southwest. There's a full moon and it's just stunningly beautiful, right? There's a full moon. It's, looks like it's about 10 feet above the surface of the earth, which means it's actually, about 20 million miles or something, right? 200,000, whatever it is. Beautiful morning full moon. And then I turn my head to the right and I look to the east and the sun is just coming up and there's a group of clouds on the horizon and they look like pink mountains. You know how that once in a while the sun when it's coming up makes clouds look like mountains in the back? Well, Brian doesn't because they actually are mountains, but it's a different story. But I'm looking and I go, look at this moon. Look at those pink clouds that look like mountains, and you think the world sucks? Are you crazy?
I pulled over and stopped and just stared at the moon for a couple of minutes.
Don't blame you, Tony. It was stunningly beautiful. It is stunningly beautiful. If you can get out, ladies and gentlemen, like your wife said, get out. No.
It's a supermoon.
Is it a supermoon?
It is a supermoon.
Yeah.
It's the strawberry moon, the moon of Capricorn, and it is supposed to bring forth prosperity and luck in your career sector.
You're welcome, Capricorns.
You're welcome, baby. All the good luck. So it's a supermoon. That's why it's incredibly beautiful.
Yeah.
And that sunrise, holy God, was it gorgeous. So the other thing, before we get into, people being sentenced and people dying, which we have to do the news. I understand we got to do the news, but particularly because last night when I went to bed, they were bitching. This morning when I got up, they were bitching. Everything sucks and you're horrible. No, you're worse than I am. I left the show early today. Yeah, I left the show yesterday at 9:30 because I did an appearance. I do it every year. Didn't get to do it last year because of COVID with Kim Valentini, Smile Network. All right, over at Brookview, Ben and the people over there could not be better people. So there are total a couple of hundred people there. And Kim did a speech. I love Kim Valentini. She's doing a speech in front of a couple of hundred people. She's not wearing any shoes. I love it. Like, okay. I don't know. She just didn't. She got uncomfortable wearing her sandals, so she took them off and got up on stage. So she goes, Tom, this is on mic. She goes, Tom, I don't get up really early in the morning, so I should catch my show more than I do. But I just wanted to tell you, we appreciate blah 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 and everybody over at KQRS and so see I show. And so when I got the mic, I said, well, it actually works out, Kim, because people who listen to the KQ Morning Show actually own shoes. She's like, well, but I took a picture with pretty much all of the people there. Took an hour and a half or whatever, but it was a thrill. And here's why it was a thrill. Every single person that I talked to over there at Brookview at the Smile Network tournament raved about the show, about you guys, about the show, about KQRS, about how it's been their life for 35 years. A young guy came up to me and goes, hey, this kid looked to be not much older. He probably was a teenager, maybe in his early 20s. He's going, Tom, I got to tell you, I never missed the podcast. And that's the other thing. They all listen to the podcast, too. They're just God, man, it was unbelievable. But this 19, 20, 21-year-old guy walks up to me and goes, Tom, I got to tell you, one of the greatest thrills of my life is I always listen to your show in the morning, the KQ Morning Show. I never miss it. But the great thing is when I pick up my buddies, they go, what the hell is that? Because they don't hear people going after. I don't know why they don't do it, but other radio stations don't ever talk about stuff behind the scenes, like, this, that, or the other thing. I don't know if they're trying to avoid. It's just life. It's real life. And those guys were just so unused to the real life instead of, hey, either everything sucks or, hey, man, it's that deal. But thank you to all of you. And Kim Valentini, I adore you. She's a wonderful person. And every single person. Ben, you do such a great job over there at Brookview. It's unbelievable. Everybody that works there, all the people that showed up to volunteer. You're amazing people. And I'm telling you, not one person left out, hey, I love the KQ Morning Show. It was, it made me feel good,
Nice.
And it should make you guys feel good as well, because they every day, man, every day.
I don't want to feel good. I want to feel evil.
Okay.
Those damn Republicans and Democrats, Candace.
And if it weren't for the fact that I hate white people and I'm black, but I live in a $4.2 million house in an all-white neighborhood, how do they think they're going to get away with that? That Don Lemon, that's where he lives, right?
Way to go, Candace.
Yeah. Way to set him off, Candace. Way to go. No, I don't give a rat's ass about news reporters. I like a couple of them. Don Shelby, and I adore Don Shelby and Dave Moore back in the day. Of course, Frank and Amelia, many friends, Chris Eggert. They got a lot of friends in the news business, but a lot of them are just these soulless, gutless pukes who do nothing but kiss ass on camera. Was that a little too negative, do you think?
Spot
you
on.
don't think? So there, you don't think it's too negative. No, seriously. Look at the moon. Look at the sunrise. Look at your friends. Look at the people that just are so damn. These people could not have been nicer or more friendly. It just made my life yesterday, walking around with these people, riding around with them. They're all there for you, man. I'm just telling you. Now, let's slide into the Candace part of the show that's all negative so she doesn't feel so good.
Yeah.
You're feeling too good, Candace. Cut it out.
Okay.
Stop with this well-being crap, will ya? Derek Chauvin will be sentenced today at 1:30. We will speak with Michael Bryant at 7 o'clock on what sentence he thinks the judge will order. My 3-year-old grandson, Seiji, every time I'm in a weird mood, he's 3, he walks up to me and goes, call Michael Bryant. I don't know where he even got that. It's like, what the hell? Holy God, were those two wound up last night. Whew. The 3 and 5-year-old stayed overnight last night. They were very excited. I will tell you that. Mm-hmm. That's the other thing, man. If you got kids, you got a wife, you got a husband, you got grandkids, whatever you get. If you don't enjoy them, there's something wrong with you, not with them. Okay? Right? Oh, nobody's agreeing with it. I'm not going to say there's something wrong with me. Forget it.
My little Augie, the other night we were at the park and there was a couple of his buddies there and they were hanging out and talking. Then it was time to leave. He goes by, I go, see you guys later. Love you.
Oh,
he gets back in the car. Like,
that's it.
Augie, he's like, oh my God. He's holding his head because he's so used to saying it to us.
Yeah. Right.
The family. He was just so embarrassed.
Well, it's wonderful.
Yeah, they didn't
so
hear
basically,
it all, luckily.
Even though you're, an extra load on her back, that means that Rachel's doing a great job. Is that what you're saying?
I don't know. I'm never around. I don't know what she does
Oh,
with the kids.
Here we go. Here we go.
Yeah, it's pretty wonderful.
But that is it. I try. I do understand you're trying to make money over there in your puke and whatever news service, whatever you got. It's all about money, money, money. But once in a while, maybe you should throw in there, hey, you know what's really great? Just once in a while, throw something in there that's positive. What do you say? Right? Apparently not. Never mind.
Absolutely, I will.
I love this. I just from a listener, because they know Jeff Passolt and I have been friends since he was 17 years old, and I was like 20 years old or whatever. A listener sends this to me. Passolt is a gutless puke. Don't forget him.
I just heard from Passolt yesterday. He's out west here. I do some, like you, Tom, voiceover work. And, for a variety of stations, around. But there's one in Cody, Wyoming that I just do some voiceover work for. And he goes, hey, just driving through Cody, Wyoming and heard this horse shit announcer. But he's visiting his brother who lives in Jackson Hole, one of my favorite places on the planet.
Which brother? Did
I
he
don't
say?
know. He didn't say. No, he just said going out to visit my brother. First time he and the missus have been out that way. He's going to love it.
What is he going when?
He's on the road. So he was calling or texting yesterday morning from Cody. So he must be in Jackson now, obviously.
Because I'm going to be there tomorrow.
What?
Really?
In Jackson Hole?
Yeah. I'm going to be there tomorrow.
$1 Million Cowboy Bar. Tom, we all want a picture of you sitting on one of the saddles at the bar. I insist.
I insist. God, I'm glad you brought that up. I have to reach out to Pass, see if he wants to get together. Yeah, I don't want to hang out with him, but now that you brought it up, I have to.
Try to avoid him, be looking over your shoulder in case he passes on the sidewalk. It's not a very big town, Jackson Hole.
No.
So you guys got to get together. That would be too much fun.
I would love to. Yeah. I would love to. No, I don't think it's a coincidence. I think he hangs on every word that Catherine says. No, it'll be great. I'd love to somehow be able to surprise him. Like, maybe you text him back and forth, Brian, and then you let me know where he is, and I'll walk up on him.
We'll coordinate it.
Don't even barely just go, hi.
You're here. And they just walk past him.
Don't make eye contact. Give him the look. Look at him, and then just look down at your phone and walk past.
Send him a big fruity drink.
I love it. I love all those ideas, man. This is going to be a ball. What a great vacation this is going to be. This will be wonderful. God, what a coincidence. He's in Jackson Hole. I'm going to be there tomorrow at about, 5 o'clock tomorrow night, something like that. I'm looking forward to it. While rescuers continue to search for survivors of yesterday's high-rise collapse in Miami, new information about the building's history has surfaced. So far, one dead, but 99 people are missing?
Yeah, they say 102 this morning.
Oh, God. So even more this morning. Still just one death, though, Brian?
I believe so. I've read so many stories about it this morning. I think they're just still reporting one dead. I saw another story that said 3, but I wasn't able to confirm that.
Oh, okay. Well, that thing. Whew. How would you like to live in the building that was attached to it? It's like, hey, do I want to go up on the 20th floor of this bad boy? Yeah. Jesus. So here's that audio, KQ.
A heartbreaking find by first responders Thursday night. A body pulled from the rubble at the Champlain condo building in Surfside. The northeast corner of the condominium collapsing around 1:30 in the morning while residents were fast asleep.
We opened up the door from our apartment and there was a huge pile of rubble.
As you went down the stairway for the exit emergency ramp, everybody was screaming and panicking.
The collapse drew out a massive search and rescue operations from all corners of South Florida. First responders using flashlights to search for survivors in the dark. Miami-Dade Fire Rescue in the building's basement wading through water to find survivors. At one point, pulling a young boy from the rubble and rushing him to safety.
We conducted an assessment, sonar and search cams on the top of the rubble. Sonar is those listening devices.
Miami-Dade Mayor Danielle Levine Cava says at least 100 people have been accounted for, but around 100 are still missing. While night has fallen over the site, she says the work will not stop.
Firefighters, men and women, are working around the clock. A huge task force of people that are continuing there right now. Working. They're going to work all through the night.
Firefighters use their ladder trucks to rescue residents from the top floors, and dogs were spotted down below to help search for survivors. The cause of the collapse is still unknown, but Surfside Mayor Charles Burkett says work was underway on the roof. He says the building was also due for an inspection this year.
The bottom line is that's not an old building, and 40-year inspection or not, that kind of thing should not be happening.
Rescue operations forced to take a pause. Firefighters stopping to spray down the site after concerns of a fire was sparked in the rubble. Governor DeSantis also toured the debris, promising to offer state assistance to the operation. In the meantime, family and friends are holding out hope that their loved ones survived the collapse and are waiting to be rescued beneath the debris.
Only God is the one who saved them. So you never lose hope, and I'm not losing my hope.
How horrifyingly sad is that? Jesus. I was reading a story that Brian put up on the screen about this very thing while that audio was going on. And did they mention this stuff in there, Brian? I was listening, but I was also reading saying, did they mention in the audio the stuff that's in this text?
No, they did not.
I didn't think so. This is disgusting. While researchers continue to search for survivors of Thursday's horrific high-rise collapse in Miami, new information about the building's history has surfaced. According to researchers at Florida International University, the building was determined unstable a year ago. Unstable. Oh. According to research conducted in 2020 by Shimon Dawinski, a professor in the Department of Earth and Environment, the building has been sinking at a shocking speed since the 90s. For 30 years, you let this thing sink and sink and sink and did nothing about it? Let people live in there knowing it was unstable? Dawinski said he remembered the study about the Champlain Towers South Condominium, Surfside, Florida. When he saw the news about the building constructed in 1981 on the news, he said, I looked at it this morning and said, oh, my God, we did detect that. So that building only stood solidly for less than 10 years?
I don't know how you build how many? 12 stories did they say?
I think so, yeah.
On unstable ground? I mean, it's, I forget who we heard in there. I believe it was maybe the police chief that said this building is not old enough to be structurally unstable.
Right.
And they were doing some work on the roof at the time. I don't know if that may have contributed. Obviously, there will be an extensive investigation.
Yeah, I really don't understand how a building that's only 40 years old was determined to be unstable 30 years ago and nothing happened. Jesus, what a horribly sad story. Once again, man, if we don't learn our lesson that money is getting in the way of everybody's, I guess, goodwill and conscience and everything else, they didn't do it probably because it cost too much. You think?
Well, yeah. I mean, Follow the money, always.
Yep, always follow the money. This is about money, probably. We can't spend all that money on that. My wife needs a new yacht. I can't be doing... Jesus, what a horribly sad story. So, at least 100 people missing now. They somewhere between 1 and 3 people have died. We'll track that down, but there's no reason for this to have happened. If it's one person or how many ever people are dead or injured, there was no reason for this to have happened, except for follow the money, I guess. Minnesota lawmakers have reached agreements to fund more than 90% of state government ahead of next Wednesday's deadline, but a deal on police accountability eludes them. It's probably fair to say it's a little bit stuck, Governor Tim Walz told reporters Thursday afternoon of police changes. Okay, well, once again, you can focus on police changes, but could you get the gunplay to dial it back a little bit before you change the police department too much? What I love is all of it is on the police, none of it on the criminals. I don't get that. Look, poverty doesn't drive everyone to crime. I know you love to think that out in the hoity-toity outfit neighborhoods, but it's not true. There are many, many, many very poor people who never commit crimes, who do not go around shooting people or robbing banks or stealing your car or whatever. And they're people of all colors. It's got nothing to do with that either. There are thugs in the world and there are cops in the world. I don't know if I've ever met a good thug, but I've met a lot of good cops. So maybe you're a little out of balance here in your argument. What do you think? Is that a fair assessment?
Yeah, it is a fair assessment. I mean, you have the city council made an announcement yesterday. I wasn't even going to pull up the story because it's such drool that what was it again? They're working on the issue on some long-term community efforts with your community efforts.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, that's going to stop people being shot. In the meantime, you have a group of people in North Minneapolis that are suing the city council because of what they've done to the police department. Those people want policing there.
Yep. My old neighborhood, man. You people are way off in your assessment of what really is happening here. Either that or we'll go right back to the follow the money. There's just too much money to be made by bitching about the cops because so many companies want to cover their ass by kissing your ass. That disgusts me. If lawmakers don't pass a public safety budget by June 30th deadline, what's the 25th today, right? So they got 5 days. Courts and prisons would not be funded even if the rest of the government keeps operating. Lawmakers prevented rest stops and road projects from shutting down next week by sending $7.3 billion transportation budget to Walz's desk Thursday. God, I didn't know those little toilets there at the roadside stop cost $7.3 billion. What's there that costs that much? Oh, road projects were thrown in. Never mind. It's the road projects that cost so much. It's the 5th budget bill to pass, joining higher education, commerce, agriculture, the state's legacy fund projects, and the KQ Morning Show. Oh, no, it doesn't say the KQ Morning Show. I thought we'd get part of that $7.3 billion. You know. The housing budget passed the House on Thursday, heads to the Senate. It will wind down Walz's eviction moratorium by this fall, allowing landlords to once again boot tenants for not paying their rent. There you go. Why don't you just do what Gavin Newsom did? Why don't you have everybody pay your rent for you so you'll vote for him so he doesn't get kicked out of office?
Yeah. Well, they're going to have a pretty small window, too, because you can't evict somebody in the winter months. I don't know when that goes into effect. Isn't that November?
I think you're right. Yep, I think you're absolutely right. Lawmakers also have deals to fund the biggest parts of state government, $21 billion for K-12 education, $16 billion for health and human services. Those bills are scheduled for votes over the weekend. There you go, ladies and gentlemen. We'll try to keep, we got to try to keep everybody moving. Keep everybody moving forward. That'd be nice. I don't know, it's a lot of money. It's a lot of money, man. But everything costs more now, so that's the way that is. It's the way it goes, man. Mayflies. God, now what was it? Okay, so first it was cicadas. Then what was it yesterday? Some kind of worm or something?
Oh, yeah. What was that worm? The pestilence continues.
Right.
What was that worm that's in St. Paul? It's just covering trees.
Yeah, absolutely.
Mayfly?
No. But that's the new one.
Right.
Yeah.
I will tell you that. Good guess, Tony. Yeah. Mayflies covered the sidewalks and just about everything around downtown St. Paul Thursday morning. The Minnesota Department of Natural Resources says the short-lived insects are found in almost all freshwater systems. Mayflies are very sensitive to chemical pollutants. Oh, poor mayflies. And decreased oxygen levels, a large hatch can be considered a good sign for the health of our environment, though, so that's good. The mayflies also act as food for birds and fish. Last summer, Hastings shut off streets and parking lot lights in downtown. They had to shut the lights off because of the mayflies. Oh. Have you ever seen that? I have seen it. Man, they're swarms, baby.
I remember scooting up to Walker, Minnesota, end of June on the cycles. And the mayflies were so bad that we had to pull over, literally every few miles and clean off our sunglasses or our goggles. We were using clear goggles. It was night because I would just see the taillight slowly start to disappear. Of course, you kept your mouth as closed, sealed tight. And then when the taillight, I couldn't see the taillight in front of me anymore. I'd ease off to the shoulder, scrape off the mayflies, back on the road.
That's exactly where I saw the mayflies. I was playing in a tournament up in Walker, Minnesota.
Yeah.
Indeed. Great golf course, man. But mayflies do act as food. Some years the mayfly hatches can actually be seen on radar, though WCCO Director of Meteorology, Mike Augustiniak, never met Mike Augustiniak. You guys know him?
Huh.
I know Chris on there on the night news. He's a listener. We like him. He's a good guy. Mike Augustiniak says that wasn't the case with this week's hatching, that they could not be seen on radar this time around. So is it just the warmer weather? Is that why you're seeing the flies and the worms and the cicadas? And is that what it is?
I suppose drought years you tend to get, we're talking about grasshoppers out west. When I say out west, I'm talking about the Dakotas, not far. Probably eastern Minnesota, I'm sure, too, that drought years you tend to get your, infestations of grasshoppers. So maybe the drought has something to do with it. We have a story, 75% of Minnesota under severe drought now.
Yeah. It does say, I checked the national news, and it does say that over the next 4 or 5 days, we should get some rain almost every day. So hopefully that is true. We do need rain really badly, no question. There are a lot of reasons why it's problematic to date someone you work with, but people take the risk because it's a really convenient place to meet people. No need to find the time to go out after work. This guy had the time, so he's probably, I will say very quickly, because, when you read stories, if you have personal experience in that area, when I was working at WAPE in Jacksonville, I lived with one of the saleswomen. That did not go over well with management, I'll tell you that. They did not like that at all. And I understand why now. But I was a young man.
Yeah, fraternizing or preferential treatment, they thought maybe. I don't know.
Yeah, but I don't know what the hell it was, but they did not like the fact that I lived with her. But and by the way, just let me toss out there, probably for she and me, somebody sent me her picture on I don't know. I don't know if it was Twitter or Facebook or whatever it was. She's got the big fro now, and she's a honky from Pennsylvania. So I don't know what. She's got the big fro going.
Big fro.
She does. She's a very pretty woman, no question about it. But I know she's she's going for a look, man. That's all I know. Right?
Yeah.
So there you have it. So there are a lot of reasons why it's problematic to date someone you work with, but people take the risk because it's a really convenient place to meet. No need to find the time to go out after work. This guy had the time. Okay, Candace, I guess you and Ray Eric are done. You're going to have to move out.
Oh, no.
Oh, no. Oh, no. You just reminded me of something, Candace. Damn it. I'll get back to the story, but Brian brought up Walker. There's a great restaurant and bar up there. I don't want to say the name of the restaurant bar because it wasn't their fault. Great place. I loved it. We used to go up there and play. But I'm going into a bar up there, and the guy goes, "Hey, ain't you Tommy B?" I said, "Yeah." He goes, "Man, I need your help." I said, "Okay, what can I do for you?" Because I got a few friends with me. He goes, "Them guys in this bar are going after me because I'm from Minneapolis." I said, "What do you mean they're going after you?" "They just won't stop bothering me." I said, "What do you mean by bothering you?" He said, I don't know how it started, but he said they started chanting "Twin Cities asshole."
Yeah, that's far enough north. Sure.
Yeah, right. It's far enough north for that to happen. I don't think he appreciated when I started laughing, though. I don't think he cared for that. Twin Cities asshole. They're
Tom
chanting.
joins in.
Oh, I did. Absolutely. It was fun. I call myself a Twin Cities asshole. It was fantastic. God, I love that. But that's a good observation. Yep, that's far enough north for that to happen. Because that's exactly what it was, too. You get outside that $1.25 range, man, 125 miles out, you might be called a Twin Cities asshole. It's a possibility. In any case, so here's the deal. Don't date someone you work with. This guy had the time, so he's probably regretting not using it more wisely. In an online forum, a man said he found a clever way to do his job at a fraction of the time to the point where he was only working 2 hours a day. He'd spend the rest of it looking at memes. What the hell does that mean? Isn't a meme a little like those smiley face?
No, those are emojis.
Yeah.
Emojis.
A meme would be like a little, think the old motivational posters, but they're, you do whatever. It's like a little, just a picture. And,
funny shot.
Yeah, funny shot.
So it's not like a poem or something, or it's not. Is it a written word?
It can be on a photo. Yeah.
There once was a man from Nantucket.
That's
it. Like that. That's a meme, isn't it? Get the picture in your noggin. It's unclear what he did. He just said he worked from home and had to do calculations and reports. He found a way to use a database to crunch all the numbers and export them as reports. All he needed to do was edit them then. Well, he told his girlfriend about this scheme. Why? Why would you tell anyone about that scheme? I wouldn't even tell Catherine if I had a scheme like that. You know why? Because all of a sudden it'd be, well, good, then you have time to do this. Right?
Yeah.
You don't want to tell anybody what are you, nut? Well, then clean the garage. You got 6 hours today. No. So he told his girlfriend about the scheme, who also worked the same company. Later, they broke up, and she almost immediately ratted him out to his boss. He did not get fired, but he probably was given more work. Yet that kind of thing, I don't tell anybody if you're doing that kind of deal, because they will burn you eventually. Too bad, pal. Pretty smart guy figuring that out, but a dumb bastard when it comes to human contact, I guess. I don't know. Yeah, you don't ever want to tell people things that there's any possibility you might break up, because they're going to shove it right up your keister as soon as you break up. It happens. According to one study focused on New York, 1 out of every 4 house fires is caused by a drunk person trying to cook themselves some food. You think that's true? 1 out of 4? Really? You believe that?
Seems high, but drunk people, small apartments, falling asleep, maybe.
Well, maybe. Maybe. In New York, 4,534 of the 18,000 fires in the past 3 years were caused by people 18 to 35. Candace. People 18 to 35 making more than $64,000 a year, generally drunk, Candace, and late at night. About a quarter of all people who died in house fires were also from that basic age in South. Oh, I didn't know that. A quarter of the people who die in house fires are in that 64,000, 18 to 35 group. Man, that's terrifying.
And this was just done in New York, so they're kind of like their own study, microcosm.
So in other words, you're saying they're lying?
Well, I mean, they're different.
He goes, yeah, they are different. You're right. No doubt. Quickly, ladies and gentlemen, from the talk and text line here at KQRS, it's Gary in Minneapolis. The mayflies have been so bad up by Duluth High Bridge that they would have to bring out the snow removal equipment to get them off the road.
Oh, my gosh.
Holy Hannah.
Wow.
Gary, thank you, man. Thanks for that message. That's holy God. That means they have to be at least a few inches thick on the road, doesn't it?
I would guess.
Like a sheet.
Jeez.
That's some flies, baby. The movie Lansky is out this weekend, I believe, starring Harvey Keitel. And I ran across one from about 22 years ago, 20 years ago, something like that. Lansky starring Richard Dreyfuss. Eric Roberts is in it. A lot of good people are in it. It was like a high school play, for Christ's sake.
Weird.
It was not good, man. It was just not very good. Do you know what Lansky's real last name was? His real last name. You're close. His real name was Sukalensky. He took the Sioux cow out of it and just left the Lansky part. So my name would be Nard. What do you think? Tom Nard. What do you think?
Yeah, I like it.
Yeah, Tom Nard. What? Candace? Nard?
Nard dog.
Nard dog. Okay, we'll go with Nard dog. Mr. Mike Evans, good morning, sir.
Hey, good morning. Good morning. Today is Take Your Dog to Work Day. I got Bogey laying here by me. Take your dog to work today. Today is also Leon Day. Leon spelled backward is Noel Day. We are halfway to Christmas.
Yes, sir.
How about that? Movie Review Friday, showing at the Marches Theaters, F9. It is the latest of the Fast and Furious franchise. If you love the franchise, you're going to love this one. Vin Diesel actually stepping up, does a little better job. Usually the jokes aren't quite as funny as I think some of the other ones have been, but the special effects are even better. If you like the franchise, you're going to love it. Rated PG-13, 2.5 hours, 3 stars. Speaking of Vin Diesel, you know he's one of the biggest jerks in Hollywood. Do you know that?
Oh, yes.
Yeah. And The Rock is one of the nicest guys in Hollywood. And the scoop is, Dwayne The Rock Johnson can't stand Vin Diesel, and he isn't hiding it anymore.
God,
we even get them in the ring.
Ooh,
yeah,
I like. Yep.
TV review. So last night on ABC TV, Helen Mirren hosted When Nature Calls. This could have been a really good show, Tommy. Beautiful footage of animals out in the wild, and the hook to the whole show was that they dubbed words into the mouths of the animals. But the writing was so corny, not funny. I'm thinking, whoever wrote this are the same clowns that write for America's Funniest Videos. And you know how bad that writing is.
Well, there is that.
Yeah. By the way, I saw an extended teaser of Lifetime's Harry and Meghan escaping the palace.
Oh, God.
This may be the most ridiculous, absurd thing I've ever seen. I mean, it's just, it's laughable. Some odds and ends. Is it true the L.A. DA and federal civil rights authorities are going to open a criminal investigation regarding the way that Britney Spears has been treated over the last 13 years? That's going to get very interesting. How about the British government says beginning 2023 they will start arresting advertisers who push or try to advertise junk food. And America, they say, will follow. Whatever happened to living in a free country and just being able to do whatever the hell you want to do?
Yeah, remember that?
I do barely remember that.
Yep.
Can't advertise junk food, you know. You should be able to eat any junk food you want. What the hell's going on?
Yeah, isn't that my business?
I would think so. Saw a picture of Heather Locklear coming out of a Subway sandwich place this week. It's shocking. I used to think Heather Locklear was about the hottest pocket you could see.
Beautiful. Yep.
But no makeup. She's gained 25 pounds, unrecognizable. Yeah, Heather Locklear. Tough weekend for tax evaders. Courtney Love, who owes $642,000. Terrence Howard, who owes $388,000. Steven Seagal, who owes $364,000. All meeting with attorneys, have some upcoming hearings. Got to pay your taxes. And forget about the cicadas. Hundreds of millions of grasshoppers have invaded 17 states. And among other things, they're eating the food supply of the cattle, and it could really affect the cost of beef here in the next 6 months.
You know, Mike, we were just talking about this. You just added the fourth one because it was cicadas. Mayflies are going wild. There's some kind of worm that's all over trees in Minnesota and Wisconsin. Now the grasshoppers. That's the 4-beat, baby.
Better read Revelations. I'm telling you.
I guess.
And speaking of bugs, let me add one more. Zac Efron's hobby is he's a beekeeper. He has 500,000 bees, Zac Efron. And if you're staying at home this weekend, on Hulu, false positive, not that good, a Rosemary kind of remake, but you might want to catch Liam Neeson in Ice Road, really good. It's on Netflix. I do recommend that.
All right.
And what are you doing this weekend? And getting ready for the extended vacation?
We are leaving tomorrow for Jackson Hole.
Wow, going up to Wyoming?
We're going to Wyoming. I've never been there. Catherine's
great.
been there. I've never been there. I mean, I've been in Wyoming. I've never been in Jackson Hole.
Wow,
We're just going for a couple of days. That'll be good.
Yeah. Sounds good. Play a little golf up there. It's nice up there.
We'll give it a whirl, Pally. How about you? What are you doing?
I'm going to be playing a lot of golf. Going to be seeing the grandkids, and I'm going to be singing. Aloha Friday, nowhere to. Lily Yokalani, Lani, Ani, okay, Laku, and the cock and the ock, and hooey, 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 ho. See what I did there? See ya!
No work on Friday until the... He should have had crickets. That would have been great. Been wonderful. So now we have 4 bugs that are eating everything in sight. So that's just great news, isn't it? That's wonderful. In any case, now playing F9, the latest in the Fast and Furious franchise starring Vin Diesel. We remember a box office misfire earlier in Vin's career on KQ.
Maybe you enjoyed Pitch Black.
Not so bad.
And the Chronicles of Riddick. Now, don't fear the dark. The hat, the coat, the beard. This year, over the high holidays, take the whole family to see a nice boy who needs to kick a little tuchus. Little Vinny Diesel is Hasidic Riddick.
Mom wanted me to be a doctor. Sorry, Mom.
Hasidic Riddick.
What's not to like?
In theaters everywhere.
Don't you grow up, Tony? Jesus.
Not even
Grow
a
up.
smirk, eh?
Hasidic Riddick. God. So new? I'd love to hear him say that. That'd be fantastic.
You shaved your head? Why'd you do that?
That is, by the way, the one good part of the movie Lansky is Richard Dreyfuss sits around and talks to the old Jewish men in the neighborhood, and it does get pretty. He's like, so then that guy, all of a sudden their entire delivery changes, their accent changes.
Sure,
it's
you
fantastic.
fall into it, your neighborhood, your heritage.
Indeed. There's one scene in which Dreyfuss, who plays Meyer Lansky, says, so they talk to the people and they go, well, who's the bad guy? Who's doing all this stuff? Is it the mafia? Is it the Italian? No, it's not the Italian. It's the Jews, and particularly Lansky. It's a great, that part he does very well. That delivery of that speech is really good. Ladies and gentlemen, at 9:30 we'll speak with extreme sports athlete Andy Lewis from the series Pushing the Line. Ooh, that'll be good. That'll be very interesting. At 8:10, speaking of interesting, it's Kent Herbeck on Herbeck Sports Fridays with Kent Herbeck. Looking forward to that as well. At 7 o'clock, Cole Michael Bryant. We'll talk about the sentencing of Derek Chauvin this afternoon. Coming up, firefighters had to use emergency tools to rescue a teenager from a clothing store fitting room. We do have audio. And a woman leaves a conjugal visit and is caught trying to smuggle her husband out of prison in a suitcase. I love this woman. Never met her, don't know anything about her, but I love her. The news is next, KQ.
The KQ Morning Show, 92 KQRS.
Tom Bernard here. Thanks for listening to our KQ Morning Show podcast, sponsored by our friends at Walzer Automotive Group. Walzer is proud to be the Twin Cities' one low-price dealer group. That means upfront, no haggle pricing on every single new and used vehicle they sell. With 24 dealerships over 2 states and a love-it-or-leave-it return policy, you can buy with confidence. I encourage you to experience the Walzer way to buy your next vehicle. See Walzer.com for details. Thanks for listening and enjoy our show.